All right, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Woo! Welcome to the third annual RGV Startup Week. My name is Nathan Burkhart. I'm the director of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And here our DBA's Visit Brownsville, where we are keenly focused on highlighting the amazing things Brownsville has to offer. Brownsville is the largest city in the Rio Grande Valley, and it's also a nexus of everything else that's exciting that's going on in the Rio Grande Valley. Specifically, we have some of the best food in the entire country. And I'm not going to get into it too much. That's what this panel is here to talk about. But what I'm really keen on highlighting is that not only do we have the best food, we have the best talent, but for the first time in eons, the talent is able to stay here, grow here, develop, and build here. Fancy restaurants, tech companies, the startup incubator that you're in is a perfect example of that as well. But also the talent that's going to be up here to give more details into the food scene that we have going on and how exciting of a region this is. I'm not going to talk about the panelists. I'm going to leave that to our moderator, Rodrigo Bravo, who is the executive producer and writer for Nuestra Palabra. He's also written some articles for ISA, for Eater, for Texas Monthly even as well. So I'm going to hand it over to Rodrigo to get this panel started. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nathan. Appreciate that. How are we doing today? Now, I need a little bit more energy. Now, he came from Dallas. I came from San Antonio. How are we doing today? All right, there we go. Make sure y'all are waking up. All right. My name is Rodrigo Bravo. I am an executive producer with Nuestra Palabra. We're a nonprofit Latino organization that pushes excellency in Latinidad. We do book campaigns, poetry events, and all kinds of stuff. I'm also a writer myself. But I'm very happy to share the stage with these supremely talented individuals that are here, and we're here to talk about the new Tejano scene, the movement, the cuisine that's happening right here, and really started here in the RGV and in Brownsville, Texas. How many of y'all from Brownsville? Yeah. Well, we're here. I'm going to introduce the panel first, so you know who I'm talking with. First of all, here on my right hand is Mr. José Ralat. He is the writer, the taco editor for Texas Monthly. Also a two-time James Beard winning writer, and the author for American Tacos, a great book over there. And also my best friend. Round of applause for Jose.
Hi.
There we go. Make sure it's on, yeah. Next to him is the incredibly talented chef Annalise Pulido. She has her taqueria, Annalise Taqueria, in Mission, Texas. How many of y'all have gone? All right, y'all deserve a round of applause. All the people that had their hands down, you need to go. It is the best taco in all of the state of Texas per Jose Ralat at Texas Monthly Top 50 Barbecue article. And she is also the James Beard Best Chef in Texas 2024. Big round of applause for Annalise Pulido. I'm sorry, top taco, not barbecue. I don't know. I guess I said that. And then, of course, we have our very own Rafael Villalpando here, the executive chef at Chilmoli and Centrito Botanero. How many of y'all experienced this restaurant? This is an amazing restaurant. We had a dinner. Yeah, all right. Fantastic. So happy to have Chef here. He's trained under some of the best chefs, has led some of the best programs, whether in Houston, Denver, all across here, and also abroad, internationally in Europe. But he's bringing some exciting new flavors here to Brownsville. Big round of applause for Chef. And I guess if, pardon the pun, if we set the table, Jose, what really is New Tejano?
New Tejano is an emerging cuisine led by Mexican immigrants and Mexican-American chefs blending nostalgia, forward-thinking creativity, and Texas ingredients. So, two examples. Mesquite flour tortillas and tortillas made with Big Red.
I heard somebody said what? Before I go to the other panelists, Jose, give us a little bit more examples. In fact, let's address that what that just came up from the audience right now when they heard about Big Red being in a taco and how that really does define the new Tejano movement that you have come up with.
So I began to notice that chefs moving up the ranks and opening their own restaurants were taking their experiences, every little bit of training they had, and when they opened up their own place, said, I finally get to do things my way. And it became very personal for them. In that manner, you get very creative things, like the Big Red and Barbacoa taco from Leo Davila. In San Antonio, it is a corn tortilla made with Big Red, not water, barbacoa, pecan pesto, and pickled watermelon, radish. Every element of that taco reflects one part of the chef's upbringing. He's a Chinese Mexican American chef in San Antonio, raised with carne asadas, Chinese food, all of these things that make a person happy, right? And it became his taco. That's his journey.
It is a beautiful thing when you're able to show your heritage, show who you are through your food. I think Annalise captures that spirit in your food. Annalise, when you set out to open up your taqueria, you really had some big goals there that maybe people didn't think were possible, especially with your Nixtamalize program, where you really emphasized corn in your menu. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of facing that, especially when here in the Rio Grande, we love our flour tortillas, Rio Grande Valley, flour tortillas. Look at all all the heads that are nodding right now. But Annalise, why did you choose that, and why was it so important for you to really harken back into that and establish that program at your restaurant?
So I actually, when I opened the taqueria, I always make the tortillas by hand, but I always use hacienda. So the powder that you just put water and then make the dough. And then I met a friend of mine that is Luna. He used to have Neighborhood Molino. Well, he still has it, but in Austin. And yeah, I reached out to him. I was like, hey, I'm really interested in buying your masa, this and that. He gave me the prices. I was like, I don't think that's gonna work with me. But he was like really, really open, and he was like, I can teach you if you wanna buy the molino and do everything yourself, like nixtamalize and everything. So I was with him, and he taught me like 3 months. And then I found out he was moving back to Austin. I was like breaking my heart. Pero eso me ayudó un chorro for me to actually do it. Because before, I mean, I was born in San Juan, but I was raised in Tamaulipas. And even that, like, we would go like to a tortilleria, and I never knew about nixtamalize until I grew up and I opened my taqueria and I want to do something like different. So yeah, like, yes, the flour tortilla here in the valley, we eat it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything. And also I feel like the flour tortillas are different from Brownsville to McAllen, from El Paso, Laredo. I feel like in McAllen it's more like tin tortillas, and over here it's more like a little bit more doughy and big ones. But we also make the tortillas at house, the flour ones. And we don't have a machine or anything, neither for the corn or the flour. So every time that you order a tortilla at the taqueria, mostly the corn, is like a la carte. So we make it to order. But yeah, we nixtamalize 2 corns, the blue one and the yellow one. and it's from a Mexico City company that is called Tamoa, and it's an heirloom corn. And I go to Laredo, Texas to pick up corn like once every 3 months. So I'm really proud of what I'm doing.
That's fantastic. Along those same lines, I'd like to ask you, what ingredients or techniques or flavors you feel are most defining of this region right now?
Well, I feel like nowadays I see more taquerias doing like, well, I'm from the north, o sea, de Tamaulipas. And siento que antes, right now there's a lot of taquerias doing like carne asada al carbón. And I love that. Because before it was just like carne a la plancha con aceite y así, ¿verdad? Pero I like that smoking flavor, you know what I mean? Like, me gusta ese pedo.
I'm getting hungry right now.
And also, like, I don't know, like, the type of chiles that we use, everything, like the dry chiles, the jalapeno, the serranos, you know what I mean? In the taqueria, we have a tray of salsas, and it's like, it's from mild to hot, so it's for everyone. Porque siento que most of the taquerias, that they stick to, oh no, que no piquen las salsas y este rollo, ¿sí me entiendes? But now you have like a variety. And then one of the things, because a lot of people is like, why you put sour cream in the trays? Bro, I don't know, but I'm from the north, like en Tamaulipas, si tú vas a una taquería, like, yo le pongo crema a mis tacos. I love putting sour cream in my tacos and salsas and all that. You know what I mean? Siento como que le da ese saborcito que necesita.
I mean, she's best chef James Beers. It's okay now, guys. It's totally fine. Chef Rafael, we've been to Chimoli now twice, and also to your other restaurant. And last night we actually had a dinner there. Shout out to Alamo Angels for taking care of us yesterday. It was an amazing dinner. But what you created yesterday, I was really struck by, and I think really fit our conversation when you had the Wagyu beef tiradito, which was kind of Peruvian, Japanese influence. And I just felt like that was something maybe a few years ago even, maybe Brownsville wasn't really ready for that, you know, and for you to introduce that and for you to be able to succeed in that arena and create that, how does it feel to be able to do that and find success and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to create things that are to my heart and have the support for that?
Hello. Hello, how are you? Good. First of all, thank you for inviting me in this panel. I'm very happy. And it's a good question. Let me tell a little from my background. And I have the opportunity for travel to different parts of the world. And I have great mentors in USA, Mexico, and Europe. I work for different restaurants with Michelin star. And I'm learning a lot of different flavors. So when I'm start to live in Brownsville, and I see a dream, you know, and most of all in downtown, and downtown they start to grow step by step for the new culinary arts and gastronomy because they have a great chefs here in downtown in Brownsville. And when I start to make my menu, because this is my influence, I love Peruvian cuisine, I love Japanese cuisine, I love, I love Mexican cuisine, you know. I'm born in Los Angeles, California, but I grew up and raised in Mexico City. But I have the chance to live in part of USA. I live in New York, live in Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, and Los Angeles. And again, I have a great mentor in my life. So when I start to make the menus, I have like a 3 or 4 words in my mind is create, art, and memories. Memories is very important because I want to make memories for the people, for the customers. And when I'm trying to make the idea and the plate and the dish and make the different flavor from Japanese, because I have a great mentor from Japan and I have a great mentor for Peru and I have a great mentor for Mexico City. So I found my own ingredients, my own soul, you know, and every ingredient. And I think Brownsville, right now, they deserve a great restaurant, you know. They deserve a really good chefs you know. And right now you have a lot of beautiful restaurants. I want to mention Jolly Petit, Terras, and you have the chef Eugenio uh, from the French cuisine. So you have a great chefs here. So when I'm start to live in Bronzeville, I believe in a dream, you know. I believe the people in Bronzeville, they deserve a really good restaurant, really good food, and really good chefs. And they need a lot of support, you know. Really, guys, they need, in Bronzeville, they need to start to support more the chef, more the culture, more the art. They have a great ideas here, you know. They have a beautiful downtown, and they have a great people. So when I'm start to make, again, my dishes is something I want to create for the people for Bronzeville, you know. And I know it's so difficult because it's different flavors, you know. It's maybe new, I don't think so. They have another restaurant, but it's my own recipes. And I'm trying to make a magic for every flavor, every plate. And I think, Chef, you have the same ideas, you know. Everything is coming from your heart. Everything is coming from here, you know. And again, it's something I want to do for Centrito Botanero, because Centrito Botanero is more like a north of Mexico, you know. And Chimoli is Mexican steakhouse. Yes, it's Mexican steakhouse because they have influence for Mexican cuisine, but my influence is more Peruvian and Japanese cuisine. And I love Japanese cuisine, you know, perfection. I love Peruvian because right now they have a lot of ingredients same from Mexico City. And right now I'm starting to work for ingredients for part of Bronzeville, you know, and part of Matamoros. Remember, guys, you are in the border, you know, and you have the culture for Mexico, you have a culture for USA. And this is the more beautiful thing, you know. You have a great things here to do here.
On that note, Chef Rafael, can you speak about how that exchange of information, you know, we're in a binational region, right? Where Mexico and the United States, or Texas in particular, they shape each other. How does that influence your craft? How do you imbue that spirit where we have these two cultures, well, various cultures, right? How do you imbue that into your food?
You know, that's a really good question because I have the opportunity to live here in USA, you know, Houston, New York, and I have this influence, you know, and I know the people, Texas, they like everything big, you know, and beautiful and big, you know, but it's culture, you know, and the same for the border in Matamoros, Mexico, is another culture. They've unified everything together, you know, and it's something you think, for me, is more easy to make it. Because I can make something for Texas, you know, the flavors, the ingredients, and I can make something for Mexico City, and I can make both, and I make a magic for every plate, you know. It's something that's culture, and Broadville, they have this culture, you know, and they need to start to know Broadville support downtown.
I love that you mentioned that because it dives right into what the work that Jose has done. And I want to go back to one other thing that you said and ask Jose this question. Chef Rafael mentioned support. And one beautiful thing that we had right now, we had an exchange right now, and Chef Annalise told Jose, he goes, no, thank you for putting us on the map. Because many times people do kind of, I think it's fair to say a lot of media stays within kind of the triangle, right, of San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas. And I think it is credit to the work that you've been doing to kind of highlight the RGV in its entirety and discuss what's going on there. Why do you think the RGV is kind of the hotbed for New Tejano in the cuisine and the chefs that are here?
New Tejano is built on the intersection of so many variables, but particularly Mexico and Texas, right? So where do those things meet first? Here. And we get wonderful dishes like green spaghetti, which Chef Rafael does poblano mac and cheese. And then you have Annalise doing the chile relleno kind of deconstructed. It's not breaded. It's not fried. It's very, very good on nixtamalized corn with fajita. This is all everything. It's all the foundation of what we now call new Tejano, and I'm always learning something new when I'm here.
So where will you draw the line between tradition and maybe going too outside of tradition? And I'm teeing this one up for you because I know what you're going to say.
No, that's a great question. I think that we haven't seen the boundary yet, if there is one. But I hope we never find it.
Well, that's not what I thought he would say, but because I was trying to drive him towards the myth of authenticity.
Well, we can talk about that too.
But I think before you dive into that particular answer, I just wanted to ask you, how the new Tejano scene is kind of debunking that myth of authenticity, because we see that quite a bit. Jose and I travel quite a bit, actually. It's fair to discuss that, right?
Yeah.
Jose Ralat. First of all, I give my best friend a bunch of props because he gets up here, he has a stutter, he has epilepsy, and he does a fantastic job. I want to give him a round of applause for just coming
You
up
don't
here.
have
and
to do
doing
that, but thank you.
No, I do. but as such, he doesn't have a license. He can't drive. So that's where I step in. And so I step in and I drive, and I get paid in tacos, right? But one of the common conversations that we have is authenticity. What is authentic? And I love our answer, or your answer, to what we say: there is no such thing as authenticity.
Right. Every home's food is different, right? So when I get non-Latinos asking me about authenticity, and something's not authentic and something is authentic, I say, well, your grandmother's chocolate chip cookies are the best, right? Like, yeah. Well, what about your best friend's grandma's chocolate chip cookies? Oh yeah, they're great too. And I bet you the recipes are a little different. Each of these cookies is legitimate. There's room. Authenticity exists on paper and paper alone. Once you take something off the page, it's yours, but it's everyone else's as well, because we get to play, right? I think that to put a box around something is to limit it, and when you limit something, it dies. You put a goldfish in a little tank, it's not living long. If you put it in a pond, it's gonna be like this big.
Do goldfish grow like that?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Chef Annalise, you recently went to New York. You were at the James Beard platform. You were able to share the stage with Chef Ernest Cervantes from Burnt Bean, as well as Chef Thomas Billy from Belly of the Beast, who is currently the James Beard 2025 Best Chef. And one thing that Chef Thomas Billy was talking about in New York was the new Tejano movement, the cuisine, how it's getting pushed over there. I have to ask you, how does it feel to be kind of at the forefront of that movement? I know, and I have to give Annalise props because she's one of the top 3 people I know, most humble that I've ever met. One of the other 2 is also Arnie Texagoya. The Valley's just producing the most humble people I've ever met. Annalise is one of them. But to that, you deserve all the credit. How does that feel to be kind of at the forefront, one of the leaders of that? And how do you push that forward? Because I know that you do get a lot of pushback. You do get a lot of pushback because you are doing something new. You're trying something different. And I imagine as well, as a woman being, a chef in this male-dominated industry, that alone is its own kind of set of obstacles. Could you come and share a little bit about that and how that kind of influences you and how you move in the industry?
Yeah. Well, the dinner in New York was beautiful. Working with Ernest and Thomas first time, that was such an honor. And yeah, our dishes were really different, both of us. I did a tamal norteño de rajas con queso, and then it was a little after appetize. It was a sopecito with suadero. Amazing. Pero, yeah, Thomas did a lot of seafood, una tostadita de tiradito de atún, y luego un shrimp aguachile, y Ernest hizo unas ribs que, wow, no manches. I know why he's the top one, honestly, that was incredible. And then he has, su hija estaba ahí trabajando con él. She just graduated from CIA too, and she was, super excited to meet me, and I'm like, dude, I'm your dad's #1 fan. What are you talking about? But yeah, no, that was incredible. That was magic. I enjoyed it that much. Pero sí, cada quien tenía como su diferente presentación of dishes and how they represent themselves. And yeah, I feel like here in the Valley it's kind of hard. I mean, I opened the taqueria 2023, and it was a small building. Well, it was un local, 750 square foot. In my idea, when I opened it, I was it's gonna be mostly to go. It's not gonna be dining. So it was 4 tables with 8 sittings. And honestly, when I opened the taqueria, I wanted to pleasure the customers more than myself. So I was selling the order of tacos and the combos and everything. And even that, como que no, it wasn't working. And you know what is I mean, I was 23 at that moment, pero como el que me rentaba el local, he didn't believe in myself. He's like, no, you're too young to open a business, this and that. My parents were supporting me, but they were in Mexico, so they weren't here physically with me. And he gave me 1 year contract. And I was like, well, I have 1 year to prove myself if this is gonna work or no. And then I met Luna, that make me change the nixtamalized, instead of Macienda using nixtamalized corn. And 3 months before que se me terminara el contrato, I have a talk to Luna, and I was like, do I really want to sell my tacos by the piece and this and that, como especialidad and quality, no quantity? And I want to put, I have this menu save up, but I don't know if the Valley is ready for it, you know what I mean? And then he's like, well, you have 4 months to lose. You don't have, como, ya, dale, ¿sí me entiendes? And I did it, and dude, that was best decision I could ever make. Pero there was a lot of labor-wise. So before, when I used to open the taqueria, it was from 11 to 11, and then I changed it from 4 to 10. And right now, the taqueria is more prep than actually service. So my prep team is from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., and service is just from 4 to 10. So tenemos 8 hours prep to 6 hours service, but we open it every day. And honestly, the taqueria, if you ever guys go, it's a woman-owned business, and it's also a woman work. My team is really small. It's just 10 people. Pero todas son mujeres, son mamás de familias. And I'm not gonna say I don't have kids, I don't have family, pero I don't know, working with moms is pues no nada más son ellas, son sus hijos, y si le pasa algo a los niños, this and that, so hay muchas cosas ahí, ¿verdad? Pero, dude, I feel like my team is pretty strong. Como que they take care of each other. Como, no, le pasó esto, don't worry, I can back you up, ellos vienen y todo ese pedo, ellos se encuentran su manera, ¿verdad? And I don't know, working with women in this industry, la gente va y ve como que, I don't know, they always say hey, it's too much drama. Pero no, honestly, no, está con madre. A mí me encanta.
What a great example here at RGV Startup Week when we have leadership, right, that talks about how important a team is, building a good team around you. And I really appreciate you talking about that because many times we do see leadership, but we see poor leadership in the sense of like, hey, I can do it myself, or I'm gonna do it myself. No, it takes delegation. It takes a team in that sense. Chef Rafael, you just opened up. Your restaurants are fairly new, but can you give us some insight in starting up your restaurants and some of the difficulties that maybe you've encountered, but also maybe some of the successes that you've encountered, particularly how they are shaped by Brownsville itself and by the RGV?
You know,
Sorry.
no. But I want to say something. The chef, she says something very true. And this industry is very hard, you know, but at the same time, it's beautiful. Because you work like a 24 hours, like every day, because you want to make your dreams, you know, you want to make everything perfect. And something beautiful she said is you have your own family inside on the kitchen, you know. And the kitchen, she have all the girls, the women with the family. For me, it's the same. In the kitchen, I have a beautiful cooks. They work really hard, you know. The people that sometimes don't understand is the customer. They don't understand sometimes what happened inside to the kitchen, you know. It's hot. Sometimes you just sleep a lot. Yes, you have a lot of stress, but you love this career, you know. I'm born for being a cook. I'm born to be a chef, you know. Most of all, cook, you know, because chef is a word, you know. And the more beautiful part is when you have your own family work together and they understand all the ingredients, and they understand the restaurant, you know, and all together they start to build the extreme. For example, chimole or centrito botanero. I need to train every day in my team. And a lot of people, a lot of employees, they don't understand really fast. So you need to start to be more mentor with your team. It's a great career. It's a beautiful career, but at the same time, it's because you have art, you know. The chef like me, or all the chefs in the world, they make art and experience, you know. And you live for this every day, you know. I love this career because it's like that, you know. It's the more hard career you can have. And again, I want to say is you have a lot of stress. But again, the more beautiful thing, guys, you make art and dreams with the customers. And every chef, they have dream to make a beautiful restaurants. Every chef they have, but the same in all the people for bartenders, servers, managers, you know. Every part of the team work hard to make a dream, to make the experience for the customer. Because the customer is coming to have, they want to come to the check with the money, and they want to pay for the memories, you know. My work is make this memory happen with the customer. And it's very hard, you know, because sometimes the people, they don't understand the menu. Sometimes the customer, they love the menu. And sometimes they want more, you know, like it is more stress because they don't understand how you make this menu for every customer. It's all a passion. It's no more like for me, make every dish is not easy. It's hard. It's very stress. But I'm enjoying. I am enjoying this every day of my life. And it is the more beautiful part to when I see a customer smile, or like, this is good. This is when I say, I'm successful. It's a great day. It's not for the money. It's for, I want to see the face for the customer and say, thank you for this meal. Yeah.
I was smiling yesterday when he served the banana crispy delight you had yesterday at the restaurant. Man, that was good. You had something you want to add?
Yeah, I wanted to highlight one of the things you said, and that was that maybe the diner doesn't understand what you're trying to do. And I know that's been the case for you, Annalise, but it's where people like you and me come in. Our job, my job, is to be a conduit for the stories that you put on the plate. And that is, it's certainly not harder, but it's an honor. Yeah.
It really is. And to kind of piggyback on that point, I think one of the good things that you do, and I want you to kind of talk about this, is really understand the cultural impact that food has. Chef Rafael wanting and having the support to actually go out there and try different things that'll be supported by the community. Annalise making her nixtamales, tacos, and tortillas accessible. You know, not just something that's on a price point that maybe folks can't reach. You know, something that's accessible, and being a vessel for all that. What are you most excited about, Jose, when it comes to New Tejano? What have you seen? What maybe a trend, or what do you really tells you, man, this is going in the right direction as you see it, especially here in Brownsville and the RGV?
Well, the fact that people in Mexico are talking about it, and Chef Thomas Billy voluntarily took on that label for his restaurant tells me that there's something fresh and exciting and relevant now. What was the tail end of the question?
Oh, I forgot. I was listening to you.
Oh, okay. I think that things that are exciting are things that maybe none of us have heard of. Last time I was down here, you had a flauta. ¿De salpicón de qué? A fish. And the flauta was made out of a flour tortilla. I did not know.
It was so good.
Yeah, and my wife, who is Mexican American, used to argue with me about flautas being made with flour tortillas. And I said, you gotta be crazy. That sounds awful. And then I was proven wrong.
Can I say something? With my special menus, so I travel a lot. I just traveled to Oaxaca and Yucatan, and I try like a lot of dishes, traditional dishes. Pero cuando I put them in a plate, in my mind, it's like, I don't know, like I use like other stuff. You know what I mean? Por ejemplo, you came when I have the gorditas de mochomos. So acaba de ir a Sinaloa. And I have mochomos, but mochomos is like a breakfast thing. O sea, it's como un guisado and this and that. And I'm like, well, how can I like put it, you know what I mean? O sea, porque yo también, I like to do a lot of like, como street foods, o antojitos mexicanos. ¿Sí me entiendes? Como sell it by piece and this and that. And think about a lot of my customers. And I was like, oh, I'm going to put in a gordita. You know, like mochomos gordita, this and that. El salpicón de pescado, that's a recipe of my dad. But there's a part of Mexico, I don't remember where. That recipe comes with empanada de harina. Oh. And I was like, how can I do it to like presentarlo de otra manera, verdad? So I did the flauta. And hace poquito tuve un menú de Yucatán, and I did a salbute. Pero instead of using just corn, I did porque es una gorrita chiquita, pero de plantain and black beans and all this, you know what I mean? So I don't know, a lot of people, when I take up my special menus, they see it like it's weird. Porque you might see like how she's doing this and that, you know what I mean? But I'm super thankful to the RGB that they're like open their mind and trying new stuff for that.
What a great point, because you just mentioned plantain, and I know I just fangirled right now over the dessert that we had yesterday, Chef Rafael, because you also had a plantain, a crisp plantain on top, right, of the dessert.
Yep.
And I think that leads to New Tejano, right? Willingness to try things, but more importantly, to Chef's point, and really to the whole panel's point, a wanting and a desire and an ability for the people of the region to accept it and try it. I think many times before New Tejano, Tex-Mex and Mexican food definitely was siloed, definitely constrained. And I'm from San Antonio. I lived in Houston for 22 years. San Antonio had the same philosophy. Either Tex-Mex or Cheesecake Factory. And that was it. If you introduce something new, we were having this discussion earlier, how a lot of chefs, there was a lot of knowledge flight from regions because the chefs just couldn't find places that they could be supported. And so I think it's beautiful to see Chef Annalise, Chef Rafael able to introduce new ideas, new techniques, and really their passion and influence is able to be imbued in the plate because there's a willingness now from the audience. They're here in the RGV to try new things. I get it. Y'all gonna love y'all's flour tortillas with a bean and cheese. I see them. We're at Lily's today. Letty's. Oh my God, Letty's was so good. That was huge. That was a huge tortilla. Yet I get that, but it's wonderful to know that there's support for the community here as well. We're gonna go ahead and start wrapping up, but I want to make sure and give the panel an opportunity to let folks know where they can contact them and whatnot. And I'm a big supporter of using your platforms to help boost other people as well. So I'm gonna ask everybody here on the panel, what's a place that you're eating at that maybe folks don't know about? That way we can give them a little shine as well. But Chef Rafael, before we get into that question, could you share maybe where your restaurants are, as well as your handles online or whatnot, if people care to follow you?
Yeah. So if you go following, in Instagram.
Instagram, what's your Instagram? I want to see everybody's phones pulled out. Come on, let's see. Yeah, get everybody's phones ready. Go ahead, Chef Rafael.
Yeah, you can follow me on Chef Punto Rafael on Instagram, and you can follow Chilmoli and Centrito Botanero. Remember, Chilmoli is a Mexican steakhouse, and Centrito Botanero they have the influence for north of Mexico, Monterrey, Nuevo León. And they have a lot of soul, Centrito Botanero, because I have a lady in Oaxaca. They make all the barro plates, It's a black barro plates. She make for me for 4-5 months. And she worked really hard because it's art, sometimes. And I support the people for different towns. And I'm very happy to bring this plate to Centrito Botanero. That's beautiful. And I'm trying to make this north part of Mexico and a little bit Oaxaca and a little bit Yucatan influence. So this is something I appreciate learning a lot in different parts. Centrito Botanero is north of Mexico with a little Oaxaca and Yucatan. And you have a Mexican steakhouse with Japanese influence and Peruvian and Mexican and Texas. And yeah, guys, you can follow in Chilmoli and Centrito Botanero. And again, it's an honor, guys, to be a part of you. Chef, it's a pleasure, really. You're like me. You work really hard for this dream. And you have something very beautiful to building alone, and really, for me, it's a pleasure to be part with you and talk the same guys. And everybody, I invite you to go to Chilmoli and Centrito Botanero. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. And he has a fantastic salsa negra tatemada that you have there at Centrito. Yep. I took some to Arnie. We went to the Super Bowl party, right, at Arnie's house, and it was amazing. We all loved it and everything. So definitely a place to eat at. It was amazing. Thank you so much, Chef Rafael. Chef Annalise, where can folks reach you at? Where can they tell you? And also, what are you eating at? What's a little spot that you want to highlight right now that you like?
Well, the little spot that I want to highlight is nearby. San Benito. Dude, es que that's my favorite place. Like, Vaquita's number 1. Yeah, Vaquita's number 1.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I feel like here in the RGV it's kind of hard, to actually find pastor que sea bueno, y, directamente por el trompo. So if you guys haven't have a good pastor, I recommend you to go try Vaquitas #1. I think it's San Benito. Here it is. San Benito.
Number
So
one.
good. So,
It's
so
very
good.
good.
The
And where can people?
gringas-
I'm sorry.
No, ya.
No, dale.
Order gringadas, like, pero te la dan como una sincronizada, like a big taco. And it's amazing with the salsas too. Bueno, ya. Pero, I'm in the Analista Quería, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We also have TikTok. Y my personal one, so I call myself, I don't know, taquera, molinera. O sea, I did study culinary arts and everything, pero siento como que I grew up in that industry, de taquerías and all this. So me siento como un poquito underground. But it's a culinary journey analysis. So,
Thank you so much, Chef. Jose, where can people reach you at? And what's the spot you want to share right now here in the RGV, particularly in Brownsville?
So you can follow me on Instagram, where I am most active at Taco Trail Official. And I'm really excited to try Vermilion tonight.
Oh, that's right. We're going there tonight. Yeah.
I
Apparently, it's
hear,
pretty good. I don't know.
Nathan's been overselling it, I think. No, I'm teasing. I do want to say, you had mentioned last night's dessert,
Yes.
right? And I think it's really important to note that nothing exists in a vacuum. There are so many touch points across cultures, regions, cuisines, and your dessert with plátano is a great example, because I was in Veracruz last October, and I got served rice with fresh banana slices, and it was amazing.
That's the 4th time we've mentioned that dessert, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's pretty good. My name is Rodrigo Bravo Jr. You can find me at Mr. Bravo 365, all platforms. You don't have to follow me, but sure. I want to thank everybody here on the panel. They've been fantastic, and it's such a wonderful honor to be here with these talents, and more importantly, as part of RGV Startup Week, and just hearing their story and how the RGV is not only doing great things in business and development and all that, but also in the culinary arts, and really leading the way for the whole state of Texas. It's an amazing thing to see it. The Rio Grande Valley, Brownsville particularly, are really shining through, and I want to just give y'all props for really supporting these businesses and going out there. Tell your friends about them, because we need to support our local businesses, especially here in downtown, in the RGV, and in Mission, Texas. Folks, it's not a long drive to Mission, Texas, okay? I keep hearing RGV, I don't know what the demonym is, but I call y'all RGVians. And so it seems like y'all don't want to travel sometimes, but I promise you, if you go to Analista Quería, you're going to be blown away. It's an amazing experience. Thank y'all so much to RGV Startup Week, as well as Visit Brownsville, for having us up here. And if you have any questions, we're going to mingle right here, and you can come up and say hi. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, everybody. Do not move, do not leave. We have our next panel, which is our youth panel. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great one. We'll give you so much info in a minute.